What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Beta Memoirs. And today, well, we took quite the dive overnight. Yep. Tech lost all its shit and just pretty much sold off yesterday. So, with being said, remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Yep, tech, with inflation concerns and everything that has been going on, tech took a massive hit overnight. Essentially, the digestion of all the information on inflation and the tweets that had come out totally wrecked tech overnight. Being said, we had one heck of a bounce today. I did play a little bit, but I was more towards the short side. I missed a lot of the upper side going into this morning because a lot of stuff started popping pre-market just before open, and I didn't want to chase it because I was more concerned that stuff would start selling off again off a dead cat bounce. But what actually happened was we bounced, and then we kind of a lot of second tier stuff, which is something we saw a couple of weeks ago and something I talked about. A lot of the second tier tech started really running. I know Roblox killed it today, and they actually exploded today. One of the very few, Palantir actually took off today as well. There was a couple, again, second tier tech that started really rolling. Value stocks really took a hit today. They kind of recovered back to where they were yesterday, but then they kind of just held. They had a bunch of individual stocks running, so it was good to see stuff bounce back. But looking at the daily, it is quite concerning. A lot of stuff looks fantastic on the hourly, but on the daily, everything looks like it is retesting and getting ready for another sell. And as I talked about yesterday and the day before, we do have CPI data coming out tomorrow, inflation data, which may have some impact. I don't think it's going to have as dramatic impact as we had overnight, but I think it will be enough to where I think it will pull us back down into this range that we're currently sitting in. I don't really see us being real bearish at this point. It's still holding. Which I can actually go ahead and pull up the chart here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But Tesla as itself, but SPY in itself, like I said, it's sold. We had those tweets yesterday, kind of sold off. Then we sold pretty bad overnight. We've held here. So I'm not really concerned. What I'm actually thinking tomorrow, SPY may continue to sell, but I think big tech or anything like that, you have some individual stocks that are holding strong. There's still a lot of buyers like Teslas and your Facebooks and Apples. But ultimately, again, a lot of value stocks took a major hit. Banks took a major hit today as well. So something to keep in mind. But if we are playing the trends, we still got quite a bit of room. We could drop down to that 406 mark possibly. If that data hits wrong, if those numbers are way worse than what they thought it was, we could really go south. If they're way better than they thought we were, we could head up. So I think that's why we kind of just went sideways today because of the waiting to see what happens with that information. And that information will be released at 3:30 a.m. tomorrow Eastern Standard Time. So being said, on the daily, again, we are retesting a lot of support here. Which is not fantastic to see, to be honest. Looks like we could do some more selling again on QQQ is the same thing, doing a lot of retesting here. So that it's kind of concerning. We might make a lower low. I don't really see us crashing. We may have another correction, especially if there's any kind of inflation reported stuff tomorrow. Again, I'm more concerned about the month-over-month inflation information now. Now that the Fed have actually addressed the fact that there is inflation going on. Now everybody's panic selling and everything else. So being said, we will see what happens. Kathy Wood also still believes that there is a deflation possible as long as companies can be innovative, that it is possible. So again, that's something that could churn stuff overnight. So we have a lot of news events that can just be wary that we have a lot of news events that can churn stuff. This is typically what happens, and we're going through a historical moment right now. And so that is something to keep in mind. So change of policy and everything will have a lot of this rattle until stuff is set in stone. And a lot of people are essentially comfortable. The market's comfortable with what is actually going on in the world. And when that happens, then we can start pushing back up. But QQQs is what that looks like. So a lot of stuff, again, is retesting. As far as my watch list, again, it is pretty small. Like I said, I always scalp Tesla. I think once we do turn around, Tesla's going to be a big one to turn around. And so that's why I kind of keep that one on the watch at all times. Again, a lead indicator I use and one I do always scalp, primarily scalp, because of the volatility and the liquidity of the stock. Now being said, so that is always to be on the watch list. Coin has been moving up the past couple of days, which is interesting, considering that it's got earnings coming up and it's also got Bitcoin and crypto has been doing really well as well. So I don't know if there's a correlation there. I don't know if people are trading coin off of what is going on in the crypto space, but right now it is starting to pick up and there's getting some volume. So we'll have to see about that one. Roblox, again, great earnings, looking for a continuation on that one. DDD had good earnings the other day and then got continuation. It continued to rip. CCL, I think, is a good spot on the daily and on the hourly. Again, for value, it might be good to, like I said, I'm trying to throw in some more value plays in there. But that being said, let's go ahead and pull up Tesla. Tesla, like I said, I wanted it this morning. I knew it was going to pop because that was a daily support. It was holding, but it actually started running pretty high here right out of the gate, and I didn't want to chase it here, just for concern that it could possibly pull back and start dumping. I was expecting this dead cat bounce. Again, I couldn't grab it. I wanted to get options on this, and it pushed up, so I scalped it multiple times. I hit resistance here, actually scalped it back down to retest, and then I got it back in up on top here when it retested the top zone again, and again came back down. So I did play puts on this a couple different times, and then I just kind of left it alone because it just rattled the rest of the day. After hours, it looks like it wants to start pushing, but again, that information tomorrow might sink it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we just trade sideways overnight until we get that information tomorrow. So for Coin is an interesting one. Coin is one I've been trying to grab every time it dipped, but now it looks like it's finally dipped. We had some volume push yesterday and then volume push again today. It's got earnings here come Thursday. So being said, maybe we get another spike tomorrow. So that's something to watch if you're intraday trading. Again, depends on the market. If the market's really bad news, it might start pulling down pretty quick. Might just do a slight pullback and then push back up again because they crushed earnings not long ago with some incredible numbers. So I think when those numbers start coming out, the stock might actually become a little bit more volatile if they do crush earnings. So that's something to keep in mind. Roblox is the other one I have. Roblox did well on earnings. Being said, it tore up today. Again, in-game purchases, a big thing about Roblox. They make tons of money off of that. So being said, massive tear today. I completely didn't even watch this and didn't expect this move, especially because I was expecting a pullback, but Roblox wouldn't have it and continued to push up today. So that's one to keep on watch for continuation tomorrow. Again, all depends on the news. That's why I didn't really hold anything overnight. I still got my same positions in copper and Apple, but that is pretty much it at the point. And I also have some Airbnb right now. Those are like longer term swings. All shares. I'm not holding any options in this volatile market at the moment overnight until I get a little bit more confirmation. Being said, DDD is the other one I got. On the daily, DDD looks really good. Oops. Did well on earnings and continue to run on the daily. We did break the wedge. That's something to see. I did retest the wedge, so looking for continuation on this tomorrow. Trying to find stocks that are still moving in this market. So one of the few ones that are. Again, Unity might actually get a play off this as well, but Unity right now has been kind of flat and been beaten down pretty well. So DDD, again, doing very well. Looking for continuation on that one tomorrow. And then the other one I got for you guys is CCL, which has actually been playing range really well, and I do like that, especially in this market. So tomorrow, if it's back in the zone, I am looking to possibly take some call options in this and try to ride this back up to 29. We'll have to see. So I want it in this 25.52 mark. Trying to capture it in the zone. Once it captures in the zone, stop will be super tight on this, especially with everything going on. But we should get that move information tomorrow, so we shouldn't see any. We should get whatever direction we're gonna go at that point. If this is still holding here, I am looking at the zone tomorrow. Maybe that was our dip. Maybe we might get a nice wick in the morning and then take off from that point. But that's what I am watching tomorrow. But that's what I got for you guys. Again, information 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. So before market open, we should get the information again, and then the market has to digest that information. So you might get, again, more volatility, or we might get a dramatic move just before open. So something to keep in mind. But we're going to have to see what happens. And remember to always manage your risk. So until next time, guys, I will see you later.